he grew up here. He grew up and lived at the birthplace. And we'll go in, okay? And tool work on those benches also. In the auditorium, these chairs, the wooden chairs here, and over here on the side are original to the auditorium. And the benches in the balcony are, of course, original.
이게 다 나무로 된 것들 옛날 쓰던 거는.
Do you know any of Mr. Moody's history?
Just a little bit.
Have you read a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. He would come in and he would sit back here in the individual chairs. I'll show you a picture in the auditorium. And he would sit there, and Ira Sankey would play the organ.
Yes.
And then the whole congregation would be singing and worshiping the Lord together. And during that time, D.L. Moody would wait and have the singing going until everybody was in unity. Do you need to take that?
Yeah.
Many times there's that anointing, you can just have that power coming through. And he loved the Lord just as much as Moody did. And they just would bring the people, the whole congregation would come into that sweet spot. And then Moody or one of his conference speakers would come up and start speaking and just ministering to the people as the Lord would lead them. And then after they finished, they would have altar call. And this is an addition that's been added to this auditorium to make it wider so the musicians can play here. But he'd have altar call, and they'd come here, and then the men would go to the right or the left in those little doors up here. And they would go in there they call those the inquiry rooms, and they would go up there and find out how they just had dedicated their lives to the Lord. So then they would find out more about what they just did. Okay. Do you have any questions for me about this building? Do you want to play the piano?
I
Why don't you try?
This field between us was called Siberia because it was so cold in the wintertime coming across there for the students to come to their dormitory rooms. Now, in D.L. Moody's time, when they had the different conferences and different speakers come, they would have tents. This whole area would be filled with tents because, these brick buildings here weren't here then. And it'd be all these tents would be all over here set up so that people would come and stay overnight and whatnot to see the conference. And back this way, you can just see the beginning of the mountain there. Well, that's where the ridges are, and in those, Fanny Crosby lived in one of the houses over here, and that's where, like I said, that's where she wrote that Blessed Assurance for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anything?
Yeah,
a little bit, maybe. Okay. These buildings here are all. You see, that one is an administration building, and this yellow one's an administration building. That one down between them, the big red one between them, is East Hall, and that's important for you. I think your president went to school, and that was his dorm. And several other key people to the Korean people were there. This was the old library, and they made it into an arts center. And the power plant is way in the background there. This is a classroom. It's a newer classroom. Now, this building here was here when D.L. Moody was here. It's called Home Science. And that's where they had, when I was working here at the school, that was where the International Programs Office was here. And then this is Mark 1, and that was built when D.L. Moody was here. He knew that was here. And this is called Tracy. It's a snack bar. for the kids. The student center would be here in this building, and the kids would come in and have their afternoon free time.
So, how many years did he stay here in this place?
D.L. Moody? Well, he was born here, and then he went away. And I'll tell you more about that when we get into the birthplace. This is the library, Dolben Library, and if you know anything at all about the campus life today, Mr. Dolben spent a lot of money to make this library. And wow, you're going to have to get out of the car to see this. This is the music building. See where it says Olivia Hall?
Margaret Olivia?
Yeah. And can you see above the windows there? Can you see the different names?
Oh,
of the,
yeah,
see what I'm
yeah,
showing
yeah.
you?
아, 로시니, 모차르트, 그 글록, 와그너, 베토벤, 하이든, 바흐.
Good. All right. Okay, I got a couple more things for you to see.
팔레스트리나. 오.
No. Now you can see up here, you can see just the tippy tops of the round top of the stones where Moody's the body lays to rest. Now, that was his favorite spot on all of the campus. That's the highest spot on this campus is that spot. We call it round top. Okay, and if you look straight over, you can, I guess from here, you can't see his home, his birthplace. But from his birthplace, you can look down and see this building straight in front of you. And this building is straight in front of you is called the Homestead. And this is where the house that D.L. Moody bought for his wife and his children to live in. Okay? And I got a story I'll tell you when we get into the corner here. That was D.L. Moody's office. Okay? And there's pictures in the museum that will show you that. Above his office is his bedroom, and that's the room where you if you've read anything about Moody, and he says earth is receding and heaven is portals are open wide to receive me. And then the 4 little windows across the top is the bathroom, and his wife's bedroom is there. And below that is his wife's little parlor. So the opposite. So that's there, and then down here, fireplace in there, and that was where my desk was, right at the very front of the beginning of that window. Upstairs, all those windows across the top of the homestead, that's Penny Alley. And when they first built the girls' school, and they built a dorm, and the dorm wasn't quite ready when school started, and the girls came, and Mr. Moody said, that's okay, they can all come and stay at my house. So they all stayed up there in Penny Alley. Now they put the rooms so close together, the beds and everything, there was hardly enough room to roll a penny down the hallway. So they called it Penny Alley, okay? Is that good? Yeah. Little story. And this one here is called Revelle Hall, and that was built, that was the building, the girls' dorm that I was talking about that didn't get built in time. And Revelle was Mrs. Moody's, D.L. Moody's wife's maiden name. The school owns all these houses laying through here. Just painted, and Mrs. Moody had just put D.L. Moody's wife had just put this on the wall, and she said, I'm taking it with me. And of course Mr. Moody said, no, you're not. What will people say if they said, well, Mr. Moody, what did you say from the oh, a picture of myself. So no, and she said, no, D.L., we're going to have it my way. We're going to take the picture with us. And so that was cut out of the frame, and you can see as it's restored, you can see where it was put back into this frame. But he looks, no matter where you are in the room, he's looking at you. D.L. Moody loved his mother. This was her parlor, and he wanted to have this picture here. He gave his mother this picture with the Bible. He always thought of his mother here in this room. She'd sit here, and the kids would come across the step, barefoot and all, cold winter. But they weren't allowed in the parlor unless they were invited, because you know how mothers are. They always have one room that the kids can't play in. It has to be moved. Okay? Right now, the school does rent rooms out of here. If you wanted to stay in D.L. Moody's birthplace, you could call and ask that number that's on there, and they will, or call the school and ask for a room, and they'll connect you. This fresco, is that how you say that? Was painted by an itinerant painter coming through, and he didn't want a handout, but he would work for a meal, and this is what he did. He painted this painting. There's a number of paintings up in this location that this same man did in different old homes, restored homes we have found. Mrs. Moody was, that's where D.L. got his generosity. She didn't have much, you know that, but here she is, feeding the people, hungry people, hobos, I guess they're called. Okay, so paraphrases. I'll hold take me by your hand, and I'll hold you. Do not fear. I'll walk you through this trial that you're going through right now. This is D.L. Moody's mother up here in her rocking chair. And again, the desks, both desks are Mrs. Moody's and the wife, and Mrs. Moody, the daughter. Mrs. Moody, the mother. I forgot to tell you, there's a restroom right around the corner here. If you need to use it, you're welcome to. This room here was built, added on by D.L. Moody, Dwight Moody. His mother, he came home from a conference, and his mother was in this corner room, all stuck in here, because Brother George had moved in. He had brought his wife and his children and moved in. So he added on that dining room that was on the other side there, and he added on a couple bedrooms up above, so that there would be room for his family and his mother. And if we read this little article here, I'd like to read it to you. This is Mother Moody up here. Let me come over here by a light and I'll read this. It says, "Welcome to the birthplace. Dwight Lyman Moody was born in this house on February 5th, 1837. It was constructed in 1823 by Simeon Moody, a cousin of D.L. Moody's father, Edwin Moody, who purchased it in 1928. George Moody, one of Betsy Moody's sons, bought half the house in this is George I just told you about, bought half the house in 1862. George and his family occupied the east half. Betsy and her son Edwin occupied the west half of the house. Around 1885, D.L. Moody had the octagon parlor that we're standing in right now added for his mother, Betsy Moody. Betsy Moody died in 1895 at the age of 91. After George's death in 1907, the house went to various family members. It transferred into the possession of Mr. Moody's uncle, Fleming H. Revell, the publisher who donated it to the school in 1921. It then became Northfield Mount Hermon School's first alumni and guest house. In about 1941, the woodshed attached to the building was remodeled to house the extensive collection of Moody memorabilia. The entire house comprises the Moody Museum and is open for tours by appointment only. Okay. He thought he was going to make millions of dollars and work and support the missionary. It's just gone. D.L. Moody in Chicago, when he got there, he wanted to teach Sunday school. Well, the church said, no, we don't need any more teachers. We have enough teachers. He kept saying, but I want to teach Sunday school. I want to teach Sunday school. So finally, the superintendent said, well, if you want to teach Sunday school, you're going to have to bring your own class. So he went out to the tracks, as to say, and he picked up all these little ragamuffin kids, and he said, want to come to Sunday school? And they said, yes. And he said, if you come to Sunday school and stay for a year, through the whole year, I'll give you each a suit of clothes. And this is this picture and this one here. And they all stayed and they had their suit of clothes. So I thought that was pretty good. This is the picture where I was telling you about Sankey playing the organ. And here's D.L. Moody here, and some of the other speakers or whatnot.
At the auditorium.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another picture
Wow.
with it full. And the other up where you were standing.
So choir. Choir.
Okay. Any questions?
What about this one?
You can play it if you want.
Is it the original one?
What's it say up on top? It says something. My eyes don't
해봐.
quite get that.
소리가 나나?
나겠지.
I can't read it. I don't know.
It doesn't know.